My mother told me one day I would buy a galley with good oars and sails to distant shores. Well, if I'm gonna go a Viking, I might as well have a Viking blade, which is exactly what I have here today. Viking knife made by Hella Knives, in this iteration exclusively for one of our partners and sponsors here at the channel, HUCKBERRY, and I am stoked to dive into what this blade can do because I have never used a Hella knife before today here at the channel, and I've never used this particular type of steel that is on this blade. So this is going to be a day of firsts, even though this is based off of a 1,000-year-old artifact, and then the ancestors of those Vikings that carried blades just like this in the Hella factory produced this knife for us to get our hands on and use. So guys, I am super pumped. I appreciate HUCKBERRY hooking me up with this particular tool to break down what this blade can do, and is this a longboat time traveling machine that's going to take us back in time to years gone by to help us go on our own adventures by our own longboats and take us to distant shores, not only in our minds, but also as we go exploring. So let's dive right in. I'm Aaron, this is Gideon's Tactical. Let's get to it. The Vikings were really one of the pioneers in this puukko designed handle, and the Scandinavian culture really brought it to many parts of the Western world. And so having a puukko design knife, for those of you who have never had one, meaning there's no front guard, is very traditional. It took me a while to get comfortable with this style of tool, but over the years, basically take off the training wheels, if you will, of your blades to have this style of blade and handle. And what's cool about this is it's not just a standard barrel design in the handle, it's been tapered. So I'll show you what that looks like here momentarily. Now we have 4.13 overall handle length. I have large size hands, as you guys know, wear large size gloves. You can see there, I mean, if I scoot all the way up, I got plenty of real estate on the back end. If I back up, I got almost that entire ring of wood up front. And if I center myself right there, got plenty front and back, and I'm ready to rock and roll. Now, the shape is more egg-shaped, so they have tapered that a little bit, which gives it a little bit of a different feel than some of my other puukko, traditional, Scandinavian-style blades, which just, I don't know, it's hard to articulate what it does, but it gives you this kind of a little bit more of a grip, sits more naturally, I guess, in the hand than just like a broom handle barrel design. So I like that aspect. This is an excellent specimen in what it gives you ergonomically. Now, with this is really where it takes it to the next level, is we have here curly birch on the front and on the back with the wood. Then we have the black rings are leather, and then the white rings are reindeer antler. So it's hard to get more traditional than that, and just looks amazing. Gives a little extra texture. You can feel the leather a little bit in there. I love that. Now, I wailed on this thing because it has a stick tang that goes all the way through and is tamped in on the back in a traditional manner. And so I wanted to see if there's going to be any shifting of any of these layers. That often happens with these type of knives that have like a lot of spacers and stacking. When you really start batoning that shock and move stuff, they haven't moved at all. So that's excellent. The durability is absolute. So, think through it. Don't be an idiot. Don't, just be wailing on the back spine trying to crack, 50 logs that are the size of your calf. But, you need to break down some kindling and the axe is over there or whatever, and you just don't want to do that. You should easily be able to do that without any shifting of these layers. And guys, if you like this type of content, I invite you to destroy that like button. Just hammer on it. That lets YouTube know that you like this type of content, not only from me, but knife videos and gear reviews in general. And if you enjoy this type of content, I would also invite you to consider subscribing to becoming part of the Gideon's Tactical crew. Make sure to hit that bell icon so that you can be notified every single week when I put up new content just like this. So the handle is traditional and timeless in its performance, but what about this blade? Now, I've never used the type of steel that Hella or Helly puts on this particular model. Its designation is H3 LCA, which is a laminated high carbon steel, similar to the way that Sami steel is made in Japan. So the way they do that is they take tough 18-8 stainless steel and they clad it, there's cladding onto the outside of the high carbon steel inner core, which delivers razor sharpness. So I mean, this is like insanely sharp and high hardness, but also gives it excellent toughness. So it's gonna give you a lot of those different capabilities. So by no means is it like a true stainless knife, and you are absolutely gonna have to maintain it and keep an eye on it. There may be some staining on the uncoated portion over time, but it will have a level of rust resistance and corrosion resistance that just a basic like uncoated 1095 blade would not have. So that is excellent. Rockweld 58 to 59. So I mean, you're getting a lot with this laminated high carbon steel, and I'm seeing an excellent level of performance with my use so far with that Scandi grind being able to just eat up the wood. So if you are looking for a woodscraft knife in particular, this is going to devour whatever type of task you're going to put up against it, particularly like notching, doing different types of trigger, points for your cordage or snare wire, spear points, feather sticks to get your fire going, all of those attributes. This grind angle to geometry and just that extra layer of toughness, but also edge retention, is going to outperform a lot of other just basic, Scandi grind, knives that are going to be out there on the market. For basic utility, you're going to have a blast just getting cordage cut through and cardboard and, just man-made materials. It's going to eat it up as well. And really the only area where you'll see some issues is in like meal prep. I don't prefer Scandi grinds for meal prep around a campsite. I like full flats for that. So that would be the one area where you may see, a lag in performance compared to the grind geometry of other tools that are out there. Has that blackened coating, then it has the exposed lower actual grind, and then it has an uncoated spine as well. And it must be the laminate process and just how they are heat treating this particular knife. Even though the spine is nice and sharp, I was having a very difficult time throwing sparks with it, and I wouldn't use it as a dedicated spark thrower from my experience. So that is just something kind of to note. It should be able to scrape wood very easily, and I was able to do some of that. But yeah, throwing sparks and just getting that angle, I was having a lot of trouble with it, and it was very minimal spark throwing, and so it wouldn't be my first choice in that arena. And then dimensionally, you're going to get 4¼ inches overall blade length. Cutting edge is going to be 4 inches, and you got a robust spine at 0.14. So just a hair over an 1/8 inch thick. We're not quite into the 3/16 margin. So you're getting a level of durability, but with the way that they've ground in the Scandi grind and the edge geometry, it operates. I can't really tell a difference between this and my like 1/8 inch thick Scandi blades. So you're getting an extra layer of durability because of the thicker spine, but you're still getting excellent precision with the way the blade has been ground in. Now the sheath absolutely follows in the traditional footsteps, and I actually don't have another sheath quite like this. We have that natural leather, really beautiful work done on there. You got your little HUCKBERRY tree logo right there, really cool. And then we have stitching seam down the back right there. I'm not seeing a drainage hole. There might be one. I'm not seeing a drainage hole, so just be aware of that. But excellent stitching, super tight back there. Now what's really cool is the belt attachment is a ring of leather. It's just a ring of leather that goes all the way around. You could completely untie it and then just have the leather option here. You could do it on a carabiner if you wanted to, or just, if you tend to carry it more in a pocket, in a pack, and this isn't necessary, you can completely remove that. But then you just have this really nice loop that gives it a little bit of a dangle feature, feels really traditional, is ambidextrous, so the knife can be rotated either way for righties or lefties, and it really seats itself snugly in there. It's not going to come out. Slim, elegant, really well built, dense leather. The whole package is really presented, but also useful in a way that you want to carry it and you feel, you're like, whoa. I literally put this on, and my boys who are starting to get in the gear and tools are like, whoa, Dad, that's a really cool sheet. Let me see that. You know, they wanted to take a look at it. So it's a really well executed way to carry a knife in a traditional way for righties or lefties. So as I stated earlier, this particular iteration was made exclusively for HUCKBERRY by Hella Knives. So I will have a link in the description below this video where you can go check out this model as well as all the gear and equipment that HUCKBERRY carries. It's why I regularly have them as a sponsor here at the channel, and I'm glad that they're a partner with me here because of just all the gear and equipment that they carry. Now, this particular model is going to run $225. So that's a pretty penny for a bushcraft knife, but the difference to me is not only in the steel performance, because we're getting this very unique laminated high carbon steel, but also in all the other aspects. It is a very different animal than just your run-of-the-mill synthetic handle, polymer sheath type of bushcraft knife that, you know, flood the market. This is something that not only will stand the test of time, it has for 1,000 years, but also is gonna really perform as you use it, and is gonna be that piece that can be handed down from generation to generation, I truly believe, and is just a piece that looks its part as well as performs its part. So I'll have all those links again for you guys below to go check out. Again, appreciate them hooking me up with this. And I'll also have my exclusive promo code, which will give you 10% off your very first purchase over there at HUCKBERRY. You know, it's not just a showpiece and it's not just a performer, it's both simultaneously. And that's what I think makes this HUCKBERRY exclusive Viking knife so cool, and what I love having it in rotation. So I look forward to hearing from you guys. What's your thoughts on this design, the Viking knife, the materials, particularly your experience with that type of Hella steel? I always appreciate your guys' comments and feedback. You guys are amazing. Appreciate your time today. I invite you to, again, check out the other video popping up and to subscribe if you haven't yet. And until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.